Hey everybody, it's MommaOG. I'm back with another reaction. Tonight I have another donation request from Dave. As always, Dave, thank you so much. He's asked me to listen to a new group that I've never heard of, Renaissance, and the song is called Running Hard. He specifically asked me to listen to the studio version, so that's what I'm going to do today. He made a note, knowing that I live in Pennsylvania, that this band has a tie to Pennsylvania. He said that they're originally from the UK, but that the lead singer now lives in Bucks County, which is in Pennsylvania. I need to look. I think that might be eastern Pennsylvania. It's north of Philadelphia. Yeah, so that's more on the eastern. I am from the Pittsburgh side of the state. Because they're a new group to me and I know nothing about them, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of reading, just enough to get an idea of where they're from and what they're about. Okay, Renaissance are an English progressive rock band, best known for their 1978 UK top 10 hit Northern Lights, and progressive rock classics like Carpet of the Sun, Mother Russia, and Ashes Are Burning. They developed a unique sound, combining a female lead vocal with a fusion of classical, folk, rock, and jazz influences. Very cool. Characteristic elements of the Renaissance sound are Annie Haslam's wide vocal range. That's the lead singer. He mentioned her name, saying that she now lives in Bucks County. Her wide vocal range, prominent piano accompaniment, I can't talk today, accompaniment. And the more I think about that word, the harder it is to say. Orchestral arrangements and vocal harmonies. Okay, now he did mention also that they tend to fuse their music with classical music, which I'm extremely intrigued about. I love classical music. That's what I play in the bird room throughout the day for my birds. It's what I listen to when I'm in there and not doing anything else with other kinds of music on the computer. Okay, so the band was founded by vocalist Keith Relf and drummer Jim McCarthy, formerly of the Yardbirds. Oh, cool. This could potentially be something that I introduce to Mike, along with John Hawken, Louis Sinamo, and Relf's sister Jane Relf. They intended to put, quote-unquote, something together with more of a classical influence. Very cool. Lyricist Betty Thatcher attributed the classical influence specifically to Keith Relf. This is a quote from her. I think it was mainly Keith. He always loved classical music. Keith, it was Canon by Pachelbel. I know that name, but I don't know if I've ever said it out loud, so I don't know if I said it correctly. That was his favorite piece of music, and I do know that song Canon too. He played it all the time, and he always thought that we should merge everything, and he did. Renaissance Relief, I swear my mouth is not working with my brain today at all. Renaissance released their self-titled debut album in 1969, but fell apart during the sessions for their follow-up Illusion in 71. New musicians were brought in to complete the record, and Renaissance was kept active through a period of fluctuating personnel until none of the original lineup remained. Although McCarty continued providing compositions for the band to record for several more years. By 1972, year I was born, don't tell anybody, a stable lineup consisting of Annie Haslam, Michael Dunford, John Tout, and John Camp, and Terry Sullivan solidified. Aside from McCarty, they were assisted with lyrics on many songs from Cornish poet Betty Thatcher Newsinger. From 1972 to 79, Renaissance released 7 studio albums, toured extensively, and sold out 3 nights in a row at Carnegie Hall, with Tony Cox conducting the New York Philharmonic. You know, I'm not too sure if a lot of rock bands were doing that back then, intertwining orchestras and such with their music. That's really cool. I know of one prominent band that did that, but not till later, Metallica. The band's success was largely concentrated in the United States, where they built a cult following. That's just so puzzling because I don't think I've ever heard them, unless it's one of those situations where I have heard their music, just didn't know who it was or what the songs were called. That's just kind of blows my mind a little bit every time. All right, so I think I have a basic idea for now. I will continue to read about them as I listen to more of their music. They are from London, progressive rock. That's really cool. I don't know why they don't have classical listed as the genre, but I guess it can't be classical if there's rock infused in there. So it lists the members and all the past members. Wow, that's a lot of different people. Okay, I've got my earbuds in. Let's go ahead and take a listen. It's reminding me of Yes already. Guitar, bass, I think.
Running hard towards what
my
used
goodness.
to be. Losing ground in changes, sliding endlessly. Reaching out for mirrors hidden in the web. Painting lines upon your face inside instead. Flat on every line. Songs of blackened lace. Know you're dying all the time. Sounds so bad you let the music take your soul. Running hard towards what used to be. Losing ground in changes, sliding endlessly. Reaching out for things you want to see. Find reflections of insane reality.
keys here. Sounds like a harpsichord. Change. Xylophone. Oh my God. Oh my. I love that. And they do that slight key change. They crawl there.
Running hard towards what used to be, losing ground in changes, sliding endlessly, reaching out for shadows passing through. See the dark around is coming down on you.
Strings and horns and everything. Hmm. I'm making so many notes. So there were a couple of feelings that came over me, and I'm trying to figure out words to describe them. One of which was like grand, that felt vast and grand and epic. There was a lot going on in there. Instantly, when it started with the piano, I don't know why. I've just recently reacted to Yes, but it just kind of reminded me. They popped in my brain right away. Overall, that was very proggy, very progressive, but different from a lot of the prog rock that I have heard because of the classical elements, and that classical was evident from the jump. I knew that I was going to like this because of that in and of itself. Prog rock and classical melted together. Perfect. It definitely doesn't sound like something you'd hear on the radio. They wouldn't be playing something like that back then. Maybe some independent stations might have. If they were around in this day and age, I think I probably would have heard of them and caught on to it. It seems like maybe another band, yet another band that was just one of those great bands you've never heard of type thing, kind of like with Fanny. And that was unpredictable, which is apropos for prog rock. There was many transitions in there. There was even this one part where the key would kind of crawl up slightly that just kind of caught my attention. The style of that felt 70s. Of course, I think that's around the time when it's from, so that's appropriate, but it did remind me of that era quite a bit. Another thing I wrote down was the word moody. That had me going from one emotion to another, to another, to another. In the beginning, it kind of started out a little more happy-go-lucky, like when she started singing. And it was, I don't know how to explain it. It was just happy-go-lucky. And then it kind of got intense. And there were bits where there was like a little scary and mysterious. And then it kind of mellowed out there with some acoustic guitar. And then at the end, you had this repeating melody that kind of just faded out. It almost left me hanging a bit, like feeling like I just watched a movie with a cliffhanger and I need to go see the next one to find out what happened. That's kind of the feeling it gave me there at the end. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the lyrics. Again, with music like this, I'm going to have to hear it several times to catch everything. Like I said in a recent reaction to Yes, it felt like there were 40 instruments going on in there, 40 different instruments. But that might be more applicable to this since there's classical stuff in there. I heard xylophones, tambourines. I thought I heard a harpsichord. I heard strings. I heard trumpets and French horns. I think I heard a flute in there. I heard definitely the piano. I heard bass guitar. There was even a small section of the bass guitar sound that sounded warm and fuzzy, like I described Yes's bass sound. It made me think of them again when I heard that. It was just a little bit. And then the vocals also, I consider another instrument added on to all of that. That was mind-blowing, intense, and has my brain a little fried right now, as these things often do. I feel like I just ran around the block. And my brain feels like it went around the block a couple of times. That was awesome. I definitely have to hear more of that. So let me know what else from them I need to hear. Dave, you're amazing with introducing me to things that I've never heard but should have heard of. So thank you once again. Really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time.